Hi, I'm CJ and this is my RC channel. Okay, this is going to be a stop switch. And what that is when the gantry comes down, you don't want it slamming into this, pushing against it and grinding away at the motor. It's got to have something to stop it. And so there's a little micro switch right here on a bracket, and that is going to attach here. Be careful when you take this out, you don't want to damage this. Okay. And they have big red, do not do it this way, do it this way. So let's give this a good close look and make sure we do it properly. Okay, so there is this little nub right here, and these slide nuts are going to go in here. This is going to slide down. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure you can see this all. There's this little nub here that is going to stop against this top rail here. You don't want to push it past that. You don't want to force it. You don't want to cut this off. That gets you the proper height for this switch. Okay, so let's loosen these up. And you want to slide these. You want these to be positioned horizontally, like this. So they're going to run down inside the track, not like this, because they'll just fall out. The best thing to do is just one at a time, get them started. They're going to try and turn on you. And when they're in, they look like that. You can't miss it. And again, it's going to come right down and it's going to stop, so just hold it upright. Just let it touch down and you're in position. And then, of course, this is fairly idiot-proof. You could probably jam it in the wrong way if you really pushed on it. These little teeth here, or runners, are going to face inward. So just slide that sucker up there and push until it is in. And we are in. Okay, the next step. Step number 4. Wow. Okay. That's funny that they make us put this on in step 2, the controller box, but as you can see in step number 4, okay, we're on the back side now. I see what they're doing. They've got us over here on the power supply. Okay, they did not do anything wrong. I am not looking at this thing closely. Okay, this is where we put the motor with the, basically it's a jack screw, and that is gonna run the gantry up and down. And this is the jack screw. It is put inside a piece of rubber tubing for our safety, and it is identical on both sides. And that's where this motor is going to come in handy. Now, if you notice, we have basically a two-sided clamp here. So the bottom side is already clamped down. That anchors this adapter to the shaft of the stepper motor. And then this is going to clamp around the jack screw like that. Now, this is one of the areas where there is another couple of little modifications to be printed, and I will go into that. I'm not sure if this one needs it. That may be an issue with the 3. They may have solved that. Okay, here's what it does. Let me try to relocate the camera for a moment. Okay, the problem occurs with the spacing here and up at the top, and the thing the jack screw rides up and down on, which is it screws through here. Okay, and what seems to be the problem is that the jack screw is slightly off angle. So as this moves downward, it pushes against this. You're basically working into a tighter and tighter area. And there are some 3D printed shims that will step this motor out just a little bit, probably a fraction of a millimeter, and that gets the jack screw straight and solves the problem. There's also another piece that goes at the top that provides a top anchor for the jack screw. So the jack screw is anchored bottom and top. It's not prone to move in, like this. So first step is to, get the shim. So now I'm doing this at a pronounced angle, but that's basically what you're trying to solve for with this fix. And again, they may have addressed that on the Pro, and they may not. We'll see. So, step 1. Now, they show this already in place, but we don't need to put that in place at this moment. Let's go ahead and get the motor attached. Let's get the right screws. Okay, this is going to be 2 M418. They are black, and they are flatheads, which are right here. And let's see, those look like 2.5. Nope, there are 3. No, wait a minute. Nope, they are the 2.5. And there are 2 threaded holes. Now, here's a potential point of failure. The holes are threaded through the inner wall of this upright. And so it's only about 2.5 millimeters thick. There's not that much material for this to thread through. So if you over tighten, you could strip the threads. Even though this is aluminum, it's still soft enough that with this steel screw, you could rip those threads. So, I know it's a motor and you want to make sure it's anchored tight. It shouldn't go anywhere. If there's an issue of potential loosening, I'll do another video. I'll just put a little bit of blue Loctite and that'll solve that problem. I'd rather it be snug and kept in place with Loctite than have it be extra tight and risk stripping it. Because then you'd have to order one of those, order a new upright, or you'd have to drill out the holes and hope there's enough material here that you can go through there too. So either way, it wouldn't be an easy fix. You'd end up cannibalizing something. Slide the deck in here. I'll make it easier to get at these. Oh, much easier. Okay. Now this would be a good time to be plugging in one of these jack screw motor cables, and I am guessing that it's this shorty right here, because that would make sense that plugs in there. Boom. And that is, what's the letter on here? Z. And that makes sense, because that is our Z-axis. We have X, Y, and vertically Z. So that is all for step 4. And we're on to step 5. I'm going to pause for a second and just review this. Okay, step number 5 is a little tricky, just positioning wise. Okay, you have 2 of these bars. Okay, this one with the cutouts, 2 on either end, like that, is going to be the top bar. That's going to anchor up there. So we're just going to set that aside for right now. This one attaches to the feeder, and you want it to be like this, not like this. Okay, I know that doesn't make much sense at the moment. I will explain. There's a cutout here. That is so that it can go over this bolt head right there and then bolt into place. If you tried to use this piece, it's too long. It would be inside there, and you don't want that. And be careful not to damage this switch. This is the stop for left to right. So basically you're gonna just hold this in place like this. You're gonna put 2 screws in, and you can put your wrench through the hole there to tighten them. I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera. It's going to be a little hard to do for you, so. So basically, just tightening that one down. Okay, that is 2. So that is now attached. Okay, step 6, with this positioned upright, now have to put this on. So, okay, so this goes on the opposite side. So it goes like so. Okay, so this pointing up, nozzle pointing down. They're on opposite sides from each other. So that's that. Now you kind of got to hang on to this. And now we attach this piece. And this is going to go right over here. And that's why we have the cutout here. That's for the head of that bolt. And again, I'm just going to do this off camera. Or I guess I can do it more or less on camera. Okay. Push the bed in here. See, this is going to be interesting. Don't want to get any twists in this cable here. Okay. So, well, I think I wound it once. Okay, there. Okay, no winds. Okay, so now the belt. So, best way to do this is just to set this down right here, like that. And here we have the belt. And then we have this little roller. Now this will be getting replaced with a tightener that I have on order. Right. Okay. Let's see. Okay, this goes in at this end. So let's go ahead and get that started. These little T-nuts can be a real curse sometimes. And these small ones like to rotate almost inside the... I don't know why they aren't wider. They almost seem like they're going to rotate. Okay. Not tightening these, just getting them finger snug so that I can... and then it pops right out. Wow. Yeah, these things really are crap. Okay, this is something you're going to have to watch out for. Because these are not very wide in this direction, they want to twist inside here, which is exactly what they're not supposed to do. They're supposed to be like a blind nut. They're not supposed to be able to rotate. You're going to have to be careful about that. I'm not exactly sure how one is going to be able to get these to cooperate, because they'll just turn on you. That's so lame. God, everything else about this kit seems very high quality, and this is just not only crap, it's annoying crap. I'll be switching this out soon. Hopefully the piece I get will have better hardware. Okay. Now, I left out a step on here semi-deliberately. There's a brass fitting that's going to need to go in here. And that's going to be for the other end of this hose. I can do that later. There's no I don't know why they throw it in at that phase. It's kind of not necessary. Okay, so let's turn this upside down just for the moment. And these are the cable stops. So let's figure out, make sure we're getting this going in the right direction. Okay, the cable is going to go teeth down because there's a gear inside here. And there's the stepper motor back there. So let's go ahead, and this side doesn't have a curl in it, so let's feed through this way. Okay. And slide that. There we go. And then this comes back out through the bottom. Okay, so now we can turn this upside down, and first piece is going to go right through here. You're just feeding it underneath and push it down as best you can now, because it's going to want to happen anyway once you start tightening on this. Like that. Okay. And then feed that in. And there we have our belt. And it's around the motor gear right there, as you can see. Down our track over this bracket. And so what we want to do is basically stretch this as far as we can and tighten. Okay, so solid. So now if I move this up and down, I can see the motor turning. It's nice and smooth action. There's no need to make adjustments on this, although you can. It has one of the I forget what they're called. It's a spacer that's off-centered. You can wrench it and it will adjust that. I'm sure there are, yeah, there's one here, there's one there. So all of these points can be adjusted to make sure that there aren't problems. Okay, that's step 8 done. Step 9. Do not tighten too tight with big red. That's these two screws here, probably because this fitting here is brass, and if you over tighten that would be a problem. I don't think you really need to take this off actually, and I'll show you why. This is a jack screw, and so what we're going to be doing is lowering this okay, so all you got to do is twist the jack screw. Let's see if I can move this again. Okay, now I'm lowering this down, but all I'm really doing is tightening or turning this jack screw, and that is making this whole gantry lower, which is how this works. So I don't need to take it all the way down, just there is fine for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please click like and please subscribe to my channel.